Hello, my name is Anastasia. For the esol strategy, I chose chapter 37, which was micro-selection. So micro-selection is choosing keywords from a sentence and then sort of restating them in a simpler way or straightforward way, just using those key terms. I like this strategy because it allows students to sort of prepare for those more challenging tasks and passages, longer passages that are going to come to them at some point in school. And this is really, if you practice this with them enough, they're going to know how to pull out those facts and the evidence way faster than most of their peers. And it really will help not only with understanding what they're reading and what's important in what they're reading, but also being able to explain what was the most important part or content that they read, and elaborate on that, of course. So when you're doing this with the class, it's important that you explain to them what micro-selection is before doing it. A lot of ESOL students and primary graded students aren't going to know what the word micro means. They may know selection, but they're not going to know micro. So it's important that you explain to them that you're showing them an easy, fast way to take out the most important information. So they're going to remember all those important facts without the fluff words, without all the in-between fuzz. That just kind of confuses them anyways. Those tricky words that are kind of thrown in there to confuse them. So after you explain to them what micro-selection is, you're going to actually model it for them. So you will read a sentence, because with this strategy you work sentence by sentence, and you're going to call upon the class and have them tell you what they thought the keywords were. You put them on the board, on chart paper, some kind of visual and oral representation of what's being discussed, and then you will have the students create a sentence using those keywords. So they're going to restate what the main focus of that sentence was in their own words with the keywords. And then your next step is basically just going to be to go through a few more sentences with them, or at least until they fully understand, or the majority of the class fully understands what's happening. Just let them go with it. Finish the whole passage if you need to, but obviously have another one to work with them on for when they go off into pairs, because that'll be the next step, is you're going to place them into pairs and let them do it on their own. Obviously you're going to be walking around, circulating, taking anecdotals, observing and assessing how well they're understanding the strategy or utilizing the strategy. If you need to come back and reteach the strategy, the keywords, I think this is really great strategy just for like science classes, because you're going to have a lot of vocabulary and then just a lot of sentences explaining what maybe that one vocabulary or two vocabulary words meant. Another reason why I really like this strategy is because it's great for math word problems. A lot of kids get confused on all those extra details that are in math word problems, and this really allows them to pull out, what do I need to solve this problem? Another thing to remember when you're pairing them is don't pair two of your weak students together, your strugglers together, or two of your ESOL students together. You want them to kind of get a variety of vocabulary or keywords or restatements of the sentences. So you want to give that broad variety to the students. And then as they're working it out, let the one student choose the keywords in one sentence and the other student restate it. Then move on to the next sentence. The student who just restated it is going to now choose the keywords, and the student who chose the keywords is going to now restate it. When I was doing this on my own, I found it a little tricky. So some ESOL students may get confused. I was visually listing out the words on the paper and align my keywords, and it was really hard a few times for me to come up with a sentence, a reinstatement sentence that didn't sound very, very similar to the original sentence. So allow them the ability to choose a word at the end of the list and match it with one from the beginning or the middle. It doesn't have to be, this is the one we chose first, so this is the one that we need to list first or talk about first. So for my example, I actually have, it's sort of a science book that we use for guided reading, and it's on droughts. It's backwards, but droughts. So you would start. What is a drought? If you think it's a period of time with little or no rainfall, you are partly right. Now you would ask the class, what words did you think were most important in there? What words would you deem key words? Drought, maybe period of time or just time, little or no rainfall. Again, no rainfall you could probably combine together as one term, or little rainfall if you wanted to break them apart so the students could see little rainfall, no rainfall, and then maybe make a sentence incorporating one of the other. And so then you would have the students actually give you a sentence. So say you said your keywords were drought, time, little, no, and rainfall. You may have a sentence like, droughts can happen over a period of time where there is no rainfall. That would just be their sentence. Obviously, they are using all of the key words. That would be expected. The next sentence is, droughts are long periods of reduced precipitation that usually last for months or even years. So, droughts, long, reduced, precipitation, months, years. And then have the students again create a sentence. So whichever your length of your passage is, you're going to allow the students to completely finish that. And then when they're done with it, you're going to come back up as a class together and go over. Everyone's going to have the same passage, so it's a great opportunity for them to kind of compare and contrast what words, and even you as a teacher to visually display that compare and contrast on, well, what words did you come up with that maybe your friends didn't come up with? And then if there's some words that they don't agree with, encourage them to defend their choices or discuss with their peers why they think that that wasn't the best choice. So I think this is just a great strategy to sort of build on the students' comprehension and let them sort of pull out the important stuff, because later on in school they're not going to have all this time or extra time to sit there and reread a sentence 3 or 4 times to fully understand it. They're going to need to know how to critically analyze the sentence, the question, the response, and choose the best answer. So this strategy isn't just great for oral development and a reading strategy, it's even a great test preparer strategy. So that was chapter 37, micro selection.